Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Words of Heart podcast. I am your host, Dion Sanchez, and joining me in this particular episode is Eric Chow. Did I say that right?
Chow.
Chow. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
Thank you for joining me today, Eric.
I am excited to be here. I'm very excited to just be able to chat with you and share a little bit with your audience.
Awesome. I just realized my microphone is not even connected.
I hope you leave this part in just as bloopers or something.
Try again. Okay. Okay. Audio things. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Gotta love technology. I was wondering why it was so weird and off, but okay. So now that I've got that figured out, if you could share with my audience a bit about yourself, that would be great.
Absolutely. So, first and foremost, I am a fellow college student like Dion. Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm a fellow college student. I currently attend San Jose State University here in Silicon Valley, California. My degree is a very fancy sounding degree. It's management information systems. It's a very fancy way of saying I'm supposed to be the business guy who understands technology. Professionally, I work in the PR public relations industry. I'm the chief consultant of a PR company, which is actually based in Florida. Fun fact for you. And I'm just very much in the whole business world, have a couple of business ventures and host my own podcast, which I've been doing for about 2.5 years now. And so that's pretty much my background.
Awesome. So you mentioned you're on to the business side of technology. Is that an intense field or overwhelming? Because I study graphic design here in Florida, and that's pretty intimidating. So I can imagine anything pertaining to technology or specifically the business side is a bit draining at times.
Yeah, definitely can be. Actually, it's a bit of a funny story. The reason I even got into my major was because I got into college, undecided major, and I had zero clue what I wanted to do. But I was taking some business classes and some computer science classes. And I liked both of them. I liked both subjects, but I didn't like them enough to the point where I was like, I want to be in marketing or HR or management or something on the business side. And I didn't want to be a programmer for the rest of my life. So actually, I felt like I picked my major to avoid the intensity that I saw in like CS programming, for example. So that was actually the reason I picked my major. So I didn't want to go into that intense field. There is some of the intensity, of course, because I am dealing with business and technology, but I feel like I've gotten to avoid a lot of the more intense side of things just by picking my major. Now, of course, there are still some aspects that are a little bit tense here and there and a little bit annoying, but I feel like I've escaped the scarier parts.
Awesome. And I feel like we really do have a lot in common because my degree program is an associate's, or I think associate in science is the right term. And the bachelor program for my specific program is actually computer programming. So I hope you got all my internet. Are you still there, Eric?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Awesome. But yeah, the major for my, well, it's not, it's the same field. The bachelor's, that's right. The bachelor degree for my program would be computer programming, which, and that's no disrespect. I mean, obviously you didn't go that route, really you went with the sort of different subsector, if you will. I think that's a technical term too.
Yeah.
As far as the actual complicated side of it, I went for the creative side, which is graphic design. I didn't want to do the computer programming because it just seemed boring to me. I didn't want to take that route. So I feel like the creative pursuit is what stuck with me. Plus, I was able to create a cool effect slash podcast cover art for my podcast as a result of the field I
Yes,
chose.
that's true.
So
That's true. My first podcast cover art was absolutely tragic because I had no design skills.
but yeah, the thing is, what was my first one? My first one, I just went off of the hosting site. I didn't even really I was just starting out, and
Right.
then the second one I designed, but it was it was colorful, but it looked really, it didn't stand out at all.
I feel it. I feel it.
So, considering you avoided the complicated route as far as technology goes, are there ever any times where you feel overwhelmed or exhausted with your work and just feel like screaming at times?
Every once in a while, I will admit that in my dream house, I've decided I need a screaming room. I think I want a soundproof, just very small place where I can just walk in, scream, and then walk out. This is like genuine. This is real. Like I'm actually wanting this in my dream house. But I don't think most of the time I don't feel like I do. It's just every once in a while, you have one of those hectic days and you've got a lot going on, and it just feels good to get yourself to just like express that and just scream. So yeah, that would be a lot of fun. But I don't think that normally I am in the moment and I think about my work and I'm feeling that way, because I think for the most part I've learned to enjoy what I do. Um, and every time I find something that I really don't like, I just kind of make a mental note to myself, like, all right, let's just try and get this over with and never do this kind of thing again.
So, have you always been like that, even growing up? Just you weren't the screaming, shouting sort when it comes to expressing what's bothering you, or were you just keeping it to yourself?
That's a good question. I feel like that's the kind of question I should ask my parents about. I'm sure I probably was louder back then, like more of a screaming type back then, but um yeah, I probably was. But also at the same time, I'm very hard to anger. Very hard to anger. So I think I think there was some aspect of no, I probably didn't scream too much, but I definitely probably screamed more than I would now. Um, I think I learned to express a lot of it through martial arts. I started martial arts at a very young age. I haven't trained for many years, but uh, that was a space for me where I could just kind of express any anger that I did have, or any emotion, that pent up stress that I did have. I still tell people this today, that the best stress relief I've ever found is beating the heck out of a punching bag. That's the best stress relief ever, in my opinion.
Awesome. I think for me, even before I really got into podcasting, and it still sort of connects to it in a way. For me, as far as how I handled my emotions or
Hmm.
just try to get a deeper understanding of them is really through poetry. So
Mm.
my metaphorical punching bag was really writing it. Well, I guess typing it because my penmanship sucks. So I literally I typed everything. So I just type it on the computer, just
I love
whatever
it.
emotions that crossed my brain. And I think it worked out pretty well as far as therapeutic, and ended up
Hmm.
writing. I mean, I still write, not so much now because I do this podcast, but I think I've written about 68 or 69 poems.
Wow.
So
Amazing. Yeah, poetry is I think, a very good way of doing it. Especially, I like the fact that you have to be a little bit more creative than just like journaling, for example.
right.
And so it forces you to kind of gain a little bit of clarity with your thoughts at the same time that you're trying to express yourself.
Absolutely. So you mentioned you have a podcast,
Yes.
um, which is soon to be 2 years.
2.5
Two and a
years
half.
right now.
Awesome. Do you mind sharing a bit about that? I mean, I come across podcasters, but it's really rare that I have them guests appear on my podcast.
Yeah. So I like I said, I started the show 2.5 years ago. It was August 2019 when I started my show. It's the Eric Chow Empowers podcast. I like to say that it's a conversational storytelling show. Very similar to yours. It's very conversational, very much like asking people about their stories. I like to dive into stories of particular experiences that people have been through and just focus in on like a handful of stories and experiences so that the listeners, I hope, can get inspired, encouraged, uplifted, and empowered most of all. And I like to just kind of take those ideas, and I want listeners to be able to listen to them and go, wow, that's amazing. That's their first reaction. To, wow, those are some really interesting lessons that this person learned from these experiences. And three, maybe they can relate. And if they can relate, hey, if this person can do what they've done, I can do it too. And if they can't relate, maybe this will help me relate to somebody else who I'll meet in the future. Maybe this will help me be more understanding of people. Or maybe because I remember this person went through this kind of an experience and I'm going through whatever challenge I'm going through right now. You know what? If this person and that person and this person, these three people that I heard on Eric's show, because I've only ever listened to 3 episodes, for example, if those three people could go through those different challenges, I can go through whatever I need to go through. And so I like to think of these moments and these stories as hopefully empowering and encouraging people who are listening to my show to take away some lessons, to feel like I can. And I've been very fortunate to be able to do that show for 2.5 years now, and of course continuing to do so.
Awesome. And I truly admire you. First because we have a lot alike. And it also has similar podcast dynamics as well, as far as
Yes.
storytelling and how the power of someone's story can help someone and inspire them.
Mm-hmm.
My podcast, just to give you a little insight into me,
Please.
is symbiotic in a way, because for the first 2 years of my life, I couldn't hear her talk.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a mind opener for many people who hear it for the first time. But I've undergone a lot of struggles and issues as a result of it, and I just couldn't get acceptance from my peers. And I mean, you wouldn't think you can struggle with mental health as early as 3 years old, but that was the case for me. So
Wow.
the fact that I have this podcast to amplify not only my voice in such a broad way, but to amplify others' voices in a world way that may silence them, because the world can be pretty cruel and not accepting of that.
Right.
So having you on and other people on is just a real blessing to me, because I like my podcast to be a form of comfort and acceptance and come as you are type of platform.
100%. Yeah, I always tell people one of the big reasons I started my show was a desire for self-expression. Just that. I just wanted to be able to express myself, and obviously it ended up allowing me to help other people express themselves and share themselves. And so exactly the same kind of spirit. And obviously I think it is also really good for listeners too, right? Who get to listen to stories that they may not otherwise hear.
Absolutely. And it does have the potential to save their life.
True.
Absolutely. So I want to get on to the icebreaker segment, which I'm excited about because I feel like you're going to enjoy it.
Let's do it. I'm more nervous about this part than I was about any other part. So let's do this.
Well, I don't tell my guests ahead of time about this because it's so much fun. And I don't want them to try to pre-analyze what it could be. Yep. So
bring it on.
I'll start with the question. That would be really, really simple.
Okay.
If you had to come up with a title or chapter for where your life is at this precise moment, anxiety, nervousness for my other game and all, what would it be?
There were like 4 words that just flashed in my mind, and I'm like, okay, I gotta pick one, you know. So I would say laying the foundation would be the title for this chapter of my life. Okay. I feel like I'm at a point where I'm thinking about a very long-term vision. I'm a very long-term sort of thinker. I didn't always used to be that way, but I am now. And I think I have a very long-term vision. And the way I see my life right now and a lot of the things that I'm doing is laying the foundation to build this massive skyscraper of a life that I'm looking to build. And I think that a lot actually will be riding on the next year or 2 years in terms of laying that foundation and being able to reach those massive skyscraper uh, of a life that I envision. So that's what I would say. But I will also mention that I used to name these chapters of my life actually after particular people in my life.
Wow.
And the reason I felt like I had to do that at the time, and I did this for a very long time, was just because those people would make such a big impact on me that I felt like I had to name this phase of my life after them, because a lot of the things that I was doing or the decisions I was making or things like that, it was all based on these particular people. And so that was the other thing that did come to mind, because that's what I used to do for many years of my life, that when I was asked this kind of a question. But right now I would say laying the foundation is my answer.
I love that answer. And I love how you mentioned skyscrapers, which is really monumental type of structure.
Yes.
And it's just such a good description as far as what you envision your life to be. And I just truly love that answer.
Thank you.
So this will be the part where I share my answer. So you're not
Yes, I
alone in
want to
this
know.
question. So
If you
my
didn't share your answer right now, I was going to ask you as soon as we ended recording.
well, I share it because it's I
Good.
do it in every episode because it's just fun to share. So my title and or chapter would basically be a warrior for change. I've faced a lot in my life. Obviously I couldn't hear her talk for the first years of my life. That was just, I was automatically considered different from the second I entered this world.
Right.
And that had its
Right.
own onset of issues, and I've had to overcome that really my whole life. Um, and then to fast forward to 2019, before the pandemic, I got sick. I could have died. Just
Wow.
to give you some, it was symptoms of diabetes. I wasn't aware of that. So I was literally could have turned into dust and ash at any given moment. It was just a depressing and terrifying period of my life. And then January 2020, the year we all want to hate, which I completely respect to you, all my listeners who want to hate that year, but I can't hate it, unfortunately, because 2020 was when I got diagnosed, and I had a chance to live my life still. And I saw
Wow.
it as a blessing in disguise. God basically resurrecting me from the dead. I am a Christian, so it's a really biblical analogy / metaphor, but I actually experienced that literally because I was literally on the cusp of death pretty much, but I wasn't. I'm still here, and eventually through that experience that led to me starting my podcast, which is almost 2 years old as well, this coming up August. I still can't believe that. So when it comes to being a warrior, I feel like that's really symbiotic to all I've endured and overcome in my life and all the experience that have come my way, which just keep getting bumpier and crazier. It seemed like my life was at a relatively somewhat normal pace in my adulthood, and then bam, I got sick, and then I'm diabetic for the rest of my life. So I just had tops and turns throughout my whole life, basically. But at the end of the day, it's made me all the better person for it. So
Yes.
As far as the title or chapter, being a warrior for change is really symbiotic to who I am now and moving forward. So
I love it. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you. So on to my favorite part, and that is the icebreaker game.
All right, tell me, break it to me. Let me know. I'm telling you, I'm nervous.
I'm so glad I don't share this ahead of time because
I
it
feel
makes
like you
it all
should
the
be.
more fun.
As a fellow podcaster, I think it's brilliant, but now as the guy who's in the guest seat, I hate it.
Yeah, just for the record, this game is really for you. I don't
Great.
participate.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So, what it's called? I can't stop laughing because you're like so nervous. It's hysterical. So the game is called. Of course, my computer would distract me, but anyhow, the game is called Song Association. You don't have to be an avid singer. You could be a karaoke singer, a shower singer, a yodeler. Although I don't understand how you could yodel any of these words. To my listeners, I'm still waiting for you to let me know if you could yodel any of these words. But until then, here's how the game works. Okay. I give you a word and you can either sing it, rap it, yodel it. It can either be in the lyrics or in the title. It has to be an actual song. Many people have tried to switch up this game and add their own interpretations of songs by replacing a song lyric with the actual word, but that doesn't work.
Yo, this is going to be so tough for me. Oh my God. All right, here we go.
So,
this is going to be actually really tough.
Well, there's another twist to it, though.
Okay.
You don't have the luxury of time.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, this is gonna go so badly.
You have 15 seconds from the time I give you the word.
Okay.
To either sing it, rap it, yodel it. It can either be in the lyrics or in the title.
In the song title. Okay.
It has to be an actual song, and it can't.
Yeah, see, that's the part that's gonna make this a challenge because I'm really bad at lyrics and titles. That's how I know this is going to go very badly. I'm so bad at this. So this is going to be great. This is going to be very entertaining for your listeners.
And it can't be a name of an artist either.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that's reasonable. Okay.
So
this is.
Let me get my.
This is going to be so entertaining. Listeners, you're welcome. I
think this is like, I can't stop laughing. I don't think I've laughed this much in any of my episodes at all.
You're welcome. All right, give me the first word.
So the first word is heart.
Heart. Okay, that makes sense. I literally can't think of a single title or song with the word heart right now. Wait, that's actually really lame. Heart should be in like 100,000 songs. I literally can't think of a single one. Nope. Wait, give me some titles. Come on. I feel like there's got to be like 100.
Some answers like other guests I've given.
Yeah.
How
did I get nothing?
Don't break my
heart.
Yeah, there's one. There's the song "You Break Your Heart" by Billy Ray Cyrus, which was around long before probably either of us was born. I'm pretty sure it's like an 80s and 70s song. There's "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion.
How did I mess that one up? Oh my God.
Part of my name, kind of. So
that I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't think of that one. All right, whatever.
There's another song. "Shape of My Heart" by I think the Backstreet Boys.
Yep. Man, I haven't heard that song in a while. Yes, love it. That's yep. That's listen, that one is gonna be a very, very good description of how the rest of this is gonna go.
So the next word is words.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Oh, there was this one Elton John song.
I mean, you can still sing it.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember the lyrics.
Elton John.
There's an Elton John one. Hold on, I'm gonna Google this. Elton John.
Yes, you can Google it.
I know. Sorry seems to be the hardest word is the title.
Okay.
There you go. I have no idea what the lyrics are, but I just whatever.
I mean, Elton John's an artist, so I can
there's a title. I'm like 10 seconds too late, but you know.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, many people are stumped when it comes
that
to
one's
the
a tough one, right?
Word. Although some answers people have given is More Than Words by the band Extreme.
Ooh.
Although I know the song because it was covered by another artist. There's also bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word. There was
Come
that
on.
one.
There we go.
So on to the last one. I don't know if you're gonna get this.
Okay.
So
Okay.
far,
Watch me get this one. It's gonna be the hardest one, and watch me get this one. I'm not going to, but like, that'd be pretty funny.
I've only done this word in one other episode so far. I always change the third word.
Oh, okay.
Because it's fun.
Okay.
So the last person didn't have a song for this word.
Okay.
So hopefully you do.
I don't have much faith in myself here.
So the last word is fake. No, dang it. That's not the word.
What is it?
That's not the word. Okay, I have to start again. Okay, so I tripped you up that time because that wasn't the word.
Tell me what it is.
So the last word is believe.
Wait. There's a literal song called Believe.
Yes, there is.
There's a little, I don't know any lyrics, but there's a literal, that's a song. That's an actual song, like right there, Believe. Well, I mean, there's a Shawn Mendes one, and then there's a Cher one.
Well, there's a Shawn Mendes one, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You went with the iconic one, Don't Stop
Believing.
That would have counted.
That's true. That one too.
Eric, I had faith that you would be able to do that word.
At least I got some titles. I mean, I knew there was a Shawn Mendes one. I knew there was a Cher one. I knew that those were songs. So I listen. If it's in the song title, it's also in the lyrics for sure. So technically, I got two songs.
Okay, two. Maybe I need to change up the rules of the game and make it just in the lyrics, but okay. Well, we can keep talking music all night long, but unfortunately, we're at the end of this very awesome and hysterical conversation. Do you have any social links to share with my audience where they can find you? Are you going to have a movie on the moon soon? Give us the inside scoop.
Definitely no movie on the moon, at least in this decade. Give me a few decades and it may happen. I don't know. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on the show. Listeners, you can find me on all social media platforms at Eric Chow Real. That is at ERICCHOW Real on all social platforms. And of course, you can also find my podcast, the Eric Chow Empowers podcast, pretty much everywhere. So thank you again for having me on, Dion.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eric. To all my listeners, thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of the Words of Heart podcast. If you enjoyed it, if you chuckled, if you want Eric to actually sing songs, I don't think
please don't do that one. Not that one.
Here are the ways you can let me know on the following platforms. You can find us at Words of Heart Podcast on Facebook. We're also on YouTube and wherever you listen to your podcast. Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Pandora. It's basically everywhere. So please don't hesitate to let us know. Subscribe, tweet, leave ratings or reviews. If you're listening to it from the moon, let me know. I still want intergalactic broadcasting to happen. But until then, thank you again for joining me, Eric Chow. Did I say it right?
Chow. like as in like chow mein, or like chow mein or clam chowder.
Clam chowder. Okay, clam chowder. Still thank you again for joining me, even though I kept messing up your last name. To all my listeners, stay healthy, stay safe. If you want to get in touch with me, you can do so on Twitter at HeartWarrior24 and on Instagram at HeartWarrior25. So from all of us here, I'm your host, Dion Sanchez. So stay healthy, stay safe, and until next time. Bye.